Yeah, I put a bolted on little section because, most of you guys have seen that talk, so I thought I'd show you some offline stuff. So I'm just going to be flicking through this. So did you have to watch me? Don't watch that. Is that okay? I've got to say, I really appreciate all the really nice comments you guys have been giving me out in the hallways. So that makes me feel really good. Thank you. I mean, probably 9 out of 10 are just commenting on how much you like my jokes, but every now and then I'll get one on the content. But what I do get a lot of is people come up and say, "Hey, you seem so genuine." That makes me feel really good because that's I think that's important, and I really enjoy meeting a real person. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, I find it amazing where I've come from, being the nuts and bolts salesman to what I'm doing now. And actually, a little while ago, there was someone interviewed me for a money mindset expert, and they interviewed me for his coaching call. Because he's been kind of watching me over the last 3 or 4 years, and so the first question he asked me was, "Brett, I've noticed in the last 12 months, here we go. He's noticed in the last 12 months you've just come from nowhere," and said, "What's been the main difference in the last 12 months that's made your success just skyrocket?" Okay, and I said, "Well, to be honest with you, nothing. See, the change happened about 8 or 10 years ago, right? Because that's when I first started. I made the decision that I wanted to change my life." And a great story, which I used to teach the kids when I used to run these personal development workshops, was a true story about 2 identical twin boys, and they grew up in an abusive household where the dad was an alcoholic, in and out of jail all the time, used to beat up the boy's mum in front of them, swearing, drinking, parties all the time, and these kids grew up together. They were identical twin brothers. They lived in the same room, same house, same school. They did everything together, right? And their dad was in and out of jail, and they saw some shocking things, stuff that you wouldn't wish any kid to go through. What happened was one of the twin boys ended up going down the same path as his father, and in and out of jail, and abusive relationships and things like that. And the other identical twin brother went on to become hugely successful, managing companies, an entrepreneur, and made millions and gave to charities, right? And someone interviewed both brothers and said, "You guys have had the same environment, so what made you turn out the way that you did?" And they both gave the exact same answer, and that was, "What do you expect? Look at my dad." So, interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's just... So I guess that's why I'm here, and why I'm... is because I made the choice that I wanted something different. And you guys are in the same position right now. We all see the same things, but it's that choice that you're going to do something different with your life. That make sense? Okay, so... offline copy. This is how I kind of really got started with my copywriting, because I was very much a technophobia. I had bugger all about computers. I can still remember it wasn't too long ago when I sent my first attachment. Yeah. I like the story of the guy looking out his window and he sees his next door neighbour running out and opening up his letterbox and slamming it and running back in. And then he's there looking, and then 5 minutes later, his next door neighbour runs back out, opens up the mailbox, looks in, slams it shut and runs back indoors. That's a bit weird. Another 10 minutes, the guy runs out, opens up the mailbox and slams it, and the guy yells out the window, he goes, "Bob, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I've just got this internet. It keeps on telling me I've got mail." Okay, so offline copy, because put your hand if you've got an offline business. Cool. Awesome. And online? Yeah, or both? Who's got both? Cool. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm going to share with you a marketing system which was taught to me by Mal Emery. Okay, and he's a brilliant marketer and a great friend. And this is basically what I'm going to show you is when these seminars that they pull someone from the audience night to do all this copy in like 12, 16 hours. I'm going to show you a few examples of that. Now, the first one was a lady they pulled up, her product was a skincare cream. And there was someone in the crowd here that came up and saw me yesterday she saw me present this in Sydney. But anyway, she had an age-defying cream, okay? And I thought, oh, great. I mean, how many age-defying creams are out there? So I had to come up with a bit of a hook and a bit of an angle. And this is where the big creative idea comes into it. Instead of, like an average copywriter would have used a headline that said something like, wind back the clock, or even an above average would have said, how to look 10 years younger or something like that. But those kind of headlines they get lost and people just breeze over them. Okay, so I did a bit of research, and I'm going to show you the lead generation ad we put in the newspaper for it. Are you ready? My jealous ex-husband called me a liar when I showed him the jar of cream responsible for my sexy new look. All right. Now, remember, when you're flicking through a newspaper, people stay on for 3 seconds. Okay, and there's a lot of science behind this. I'm going to teach you some stuff. Sydney beautician denies that her client's new ageless skin was from Botox or cosmetic surgery, and swears they only used her new age-defying cream. And to prove it, she's given away 1,000 jars for a free trial. All right. A little bit different. Okay, notice most ads that you'll see in a newspaper will have like a beautiful model with a little slogan that says, because you deserve it, and then a phone number down the bottom. Whereas if this headline caught your eye, who thinks they'd want to read more? Yep, cool. Okay, now here's an interesting thing. This is more of a strategy here. 1,000 free jars. She's only just started this, and she didn't have a lot of capital to give away some free stuff. So the strategy that I brought to the table for her was, it's a 30-day trial. They take it for free, and if they don't return it back, then she can whack their credit card, okay? Because we know the maths. The maths is that most people won't get around to doing that. Make sense? Notice the big black ugly border, because it kind of jumps on the page. It looks ugly as all, but you kind of want it to. You don't want it to get blended, because people don't buy newspapers to look through advertisements. So you don't want your ads to look like an ad. You want it to look as much like an article as you can. Now, this is interesting. There's no mention of her business at all. There's several call to actions. There's a website, a 1-800 number. We've tested that. Instead of putting a phone number, a 24-hour recorded message 1-800 number will get more response. Okay, because people are afraid. They don't want to get sold to over the phone. So if you have a 24-hour recorded message to leave their details, then you'll get more leads. This is purely a lead generation. We're not trying to sell from the page here. And we've got a coupon, right? Now you think, these days, who's going to get a little pen and fill all that out and send it? Right. Here's the interesting thing. Once we put Mel suggested to test coupons, the amount of people who actually cut it out, grabbed a pen, squeezed all their details in a little box, went and got an envelope, put the address on the envelope, got a stamp, put the little coupon in, went down to the mailbox and posted it. Have a guess how many people did that? Well, you know the answer, Rob. 30% of people do that. Isn't that amazing? So imagine how many people you'd leave off. Imagine all the people you're leaving out of your marketing funnel just by not having that. So multiple ways of responding. Not selling from the page, and you're offering a free report. Okay, so they're offering the free report model. So it's purely they're just giving a gift. Because here's the psychology behind advertising and why most people don't understand it. When people read newspapers, right, their mindset is, what can I get out of this newspaper? Okay, they want an emotional page. They want to read a story, so they're looking to get something. And the advertisers, they put that in because they want to get as well. Does that make sense? So you've got get, and they clash. But if you come from the other angle and offer something to give, here's a free report, okay, or a free consultation, then if someone's in that get mentality, and you give them, then they can marry up. Does that make sense? They're totally different. So then another thing we did is a flyer. Okay, now most people who get the mail, they open their mail over the bin. Okay, you've got a split second. True, right? Well, it's been said that they divide it in 3 piles: junk mail, right? Bills, because you can spot a bill from a mile away, right? Or letters that look like they came from your aunt or your grandma, handwritten, right? So, because the enemy of the entrepreneur is clutter, online and offline. So instead of coming up with a glossy flyer that'll just immediately get identified as junk mail, we put a string around it and hung it on the door, right? So Sydney beautician denies that her client's new age skin was from Botox or cosmetic surgery, swears that they only use new age finest cream. Pretty much the same stuff, and it says, as you can see, I've attached a string to the top of the card. Why have I done this? There are 2 good reasons. 1, I have something important to tell you and wanted to grab your attention, so hopefully I've done that. 2, since I'm writing to you about a no strings attached way to try my revolutionary age-defying cream for free, I figured using a piece of string. Here's what it's about. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? All it does is buying you time. And on the reverse side, that's the other headline you saw, 15 reasons why you should call now. Coupon, it's just a free report. Okay? So it just buys you time to get it read. Make sense? Okay. Okay, here I'm going to. This is Mal Emery calls this the holy grail of marketing, and I totally agree. It's called a tear sheet. So it's like a full. If you go through a magazine, it's a full. You can create a full page ad. And in Australia, what you're allowed to do is create your own. Well, imagine this. Imagine if you own a restaurant, right? And you have restaurant critics that come in, and you don't know they're like the mystery shopper kind of critics. They come in and try your food, and then they'll write an article about your restaurant. Okay, you've got no control what he writes about, hey? So imagine if you could actually write about your business and put everything in there that you want. That's pretty a good advantage. Well, that's what you can do with a tear sheet. We create full-page articles about whoever we want to write about and put all the good stuff in. We mass-produce them like by 1,000, 2,000. We put articles on the back. We can get them printed out so they've got a tear down the side so it looks like it's been torn out of a magazine. We get a little yellow post-it note, stick it on there with a handwritten, which can get printed, that says, here's that restaurant I was talking about, try it, you should check it out. And we'll post it out with a handwritten envelope, so it looks like it's come from your auntie or your grandmother. So you've got total isolation. They'll look at that and they go, who sent this? And on the postcode, we put like a little J, because everyone knows someone with letters starting with J. Right? Sounds very sneaky, right? But as someone said before, if you've got a product that you feel good about and you think can make a difference in someone's life, then I feel it's my duty to get that message in front of them. Okay, so here's the tear sheet that I came up. I had a bit of fun with this because, I kind of exaggerate a bit of stuff. But facelift in a jar. Jealous ex-husband fails to prove his ex-wife's new age-defying cream contains traces of Viagra like first suspected. Determined to find the answers behind his ex-wife's increased sexual activity with younger, better-looking men, it can only be determined now that her new ageless-looking skin is solely responsible for the abnormal amount of male attention she is experiencing of late. Ladies, who wants a jar? Okay, so now I got inspired by Gary Halbert. Gary Halbert came up with an American. He's crazy. So, and again, it's the coupon. There's no mention of her business at all, and it's purely requesting a free report. So if you get that with a post-it note saying, here's that cream I was telling you about, you can get a free jar, J, they're going to go, who's Jay and what's this? And, it's just a massive, massive advantage. Like that? Okay, so that goes to a call centre, and there's a little sales script that they use to get their details, and then you send out the free report. Now, again, even though they've requested the free report, you want your mail to get open, okay? Now, if you've got a stack of mail this high, and one of those mails has got something lumpy in it, which one are you going to open first? All right, why? That's right, exactly. So lumpy mail or three-dimensional mail is a huge thing which we use. So generally you can use tea bag and you can tie the message in. You say, take time to read this report. You can use a balloon, it's time to celebrate, all those things. So I went something a little bit different with this one because the message I was conveying was how to wind your age back by 10 years. I worked out what song was number one 10 years ago. It was Macarena. Right, remember Macarena? So, and I also, you can go back to old newspapers and you can get the front page of a newspaper 10 years ago. Right? Who thinks that's a good idea? A bit of memorability going, oh wow, you can look at the prices. Hawaii, $459, what's going on there? And it just pulls people in. You get their undivided attention. That's what you want. You want to get their undivided attention. And then the cover letter just kind of ties that into it. Now, and then you put the sales letter in. I haven't put the sales letter in because I didn't to do a full presentation, but pretty much like the sales letter you saw me do online for the dog breeding. I've just done a version of that for her skincare thing. Now, 10 days later, you follow that up with a phone call 10 days later and you'll close 50% of your sales. If they don't close then you send out a second letter with a second piece of lumpy mail. It's an egg timer, not a picture of an egg timer, but a real egg timer that's kind of lumpy. Okay, and again, you can tie a message into that. Third one I did was a casino chip, and don't gamble with your aging skin and a poker card. Okay, see how I do that? You go to a $2 shop, walk around and pick something up, and you can tie a message into it. That's all it is to capture their attention. They're called grabbers, attention grabbers. Another one I did when I was in the Perth seminar was they had a dojo karate people. And their goal was, they had 5 dojos, so they're already established, but they needed to crank it up. Their goal was they wanted at least 2 more participants each week. Okay, so and their current marketing system wasn't really working. So here's what I came up with: lacking respect at home or school. I identified the niche to be kids because you've got to narrow the niche down. And the hurting problem was kids and lack of school. That's why I did a bit of research for about a couple of hours before I started writing. So it says, are you looking for a solution to help discipline your kids, lacking respect at home or school? Do you want to learn how to improve your child's self-esteem, confidence and attitude? Okay, revealed at last the secret martial arts formula for raising happy, healthy, positive kids and how to ensure your child doesn't go off the rails in life. Okay. Now, if you've got some kids which are driving you nuts, are you going to be curious? You're going to want this free report to find out more? Yep. So again, all the aspects. It's got the coupon and the big black border. Now they put this ad in, and they got from memory, I think it was 30 new members in their first week. Okay, that's a marketing breakthrough because you just get the right message. And in the right media and it's a perfect match. So again, the string attached flyer, how to put an end to bullying and boost your child's self-esteem, confidence and discipline. Okay, that can hang on the door. Same components before. The lead generation tear sheet that I did. What every parent ought to know about why kids go off the rails in life and how a secret martial arts formula is boosting kids' self-esteem, confidence, discipline and attitude. Okay? So again, if you're going through those kind of struggles or problems with kids, then they're going to read it seems like an independent report, but it's totally been fabricated, which is perfectly legal. Right? You can have a lot of fun, but it's... Okay, and here's... Now the lumpy mail, instead of sending a little object, I sent a picture frame, and I fabricated a newspaper article. Okay, because in the lead generation part here, we said to find out what the kid's name is, so I could use that in the sales letter. So instead of saying your child, you can say Johnny. Okay, Johnny gets used everywhere, and even in the jokes. So, amazing local Canning Vale kid Johnny Smith wins Student of the Year award. in what's been coming one of the most popular physical and personal development programs in Western Australia today, the Martial Arts Family Academy had their inaugural leadership presentation gala held at the City Gate Hotel last Saturday night. To a packed house of over 450 parents and kids, everyone was sitting on the edge of their seat waiting with anticipation to see who would be awarded the prestigious Student of the Year award. When Cannon Vale local boy Johnny Smith was announced as the winner, the whole crowd cheered and applauded Johnny with a well-deserved standing ovation that seemed to last forever. Johnny started his training just 3 short years ago and has progressed in both physical skill levels and leadership qualities that have pleasantly shocked even the most seasoned black belts. Johnny is one of the training centre's greatest success stories, and he continues to inspire and mentor other kids who need help with self-esteem and confidence, and is a great example of the community. Right. So I say, how would you like your kid? So I'll give them paint the picture that their kid could be there. Who thinks that's pretty cool? So that's some creative things I've done, and I only had really 15 minutes to share that. That's a bit of an offline component. But did that help anyone? Yeah. Cool.